Tonight, tensions are boiling over in Minneapolis, and the situation is now turning into a national political flashpoint. President Donald Trump is warning he may invoke the Insurrection Act, a rare and controversial law that could allow the federal government to deploy troops to stop unrest inside the United States. And it comes after another violent incident involving federal immigration officers, one that has left a man wounded and a city on edge. Good evening, I'm Jack Reynolds, and this is The Jack Reynolds Show. We're following major developments tonight out of Minnesota, where protests tied to immigration enforcement are escalating, along with concerns about the use of force, civil rights, and how far the federal government might go to restore order. According to federal officials, the latest turmoil began after a federal immigration officer shot a man in the leg during an attempted arrest in Minneapolis. Officials say the incident happened after officers stopped a driver who they claim was in the country illegally. They say the suspect drove away, crashed into a parked vehicle, and then ran on foot. Federal authorities claim the officer caught up to the suspect, but then two other individuals allegedly joined the confrontation, attacking the officer with objects like a shovel and a broom handle. The officer fired one shot, injuring the man in the leg. Authorities say the injury was not life-threatening. But the shooting quickly sparked renewed anger across the city. Crowds gathered near the scene, and overnight unrest grew intense. Reports describe smoke in the streets, tear gas deployed by federal officers, and protesters throwing objects, including fireworks and rocks, back toward law enforcement. This is not the first major incident fueling outrage. The city has seen days of growing unrest following the death of a woman named Renee Good, who was fatally shot during an encounter involving federal immigration officers earlier in the month. Now, President Trump is making it clear he believes the protests have crossed a line. In a social media statement, the president said that if Minnesota leaders cannot stop what he described as violent agitators targeting federal officers, he may respond by invoking the Insurrection Act. That law, first passed in the early 1800s, can allow a president to use the military or take control of National Guard forces to enforce federal authority during serious unrest. Historically, it has been used in major national crises, including the riots in Los Angeles in 1992, but critics warn that using it during modern political unrest could dramatically escalate tensions. Minnesota leaders have pushed back strongly. Governor Walz urged calm, calling on people to speak out peacefully and warning against chaos. Minnesota's Attorney General also signaled that any move to deploy troops could be challenged in court. Meanwhile, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey said the city is dealing with an impossible situation and emphasized the need to protect residents while maintaining order. And now, the legal side of this story is growing rapidly. A civil rights lawsuit has been filed on behalf of U.S. citizens who claim they were stopped or questioned during recent enforcement actions, raising concerns about racial profiling and arrests without warrants. Federal agencies have not offered a detailed public response to those claims yet. The fear and disruption have also reached schools. Some major school districts in the Twin Cities area are preparing remote learning options for students who don't feel safe attending in person. Universities are also adjusting plans as the city braces for more unrest. So tonight, Minneapolis remains at the center of a growing national debate about immigration enforcement, public protest, police and federal power, and whether America is heading toward even deeper division. And if the Insurrection Act is actually invoked, it would be one of the most serious uses of presidential authority in domestic unrest in decades. We will continue tracking every update as it develops. I'm Jack Reynolds. This is The Jack Reynolds Show. If you found this report helpful, hit like, subscribe, and stay informed. Good night.